Hey everyone, good morning. I'm downstairs today. Just because I felt like it. I really don't know why. I didn't want to quite really make it upstairs. Oh, my connection is weak, it says. It's weird, isn't it? Okay, so hopefully we could actually last for this Facebook Live because it says my connection is weak. So that's odd. Anyway, good morning everyone. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I know I haven't seen you guys for a while, so I hope everything is well. I got a lot work done this weekend, which is probably necessary since tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow's launch day for the email list webinar. And I'm very excited about it because there's some cool bonuses that everybody will be getting. And again, just very, very excited about it. Really, I do? I'm sure it's the lighting because I feel like I just whipped this up, but thank you. Good morning. Good morning. So again, tomorrow is launch day for the email list webinar. It's very, very exciting because the webinar has been ready for a while, but people that have pre-sold it are the ones that had early access to it, okay? And starting tomorrow, people could actually purchase it for 3 days and get the bonuses. They could still purchase it after the 3 days, but the bonuses would no longer be there. But we'll talk about that maybe later or even tomorrow. Caitlin, morning. Today's my first day working completely for myself. So strange leaving work last week. Yes, I know the feeling. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. Nicola asked, are you still doing payment plan for email list webinar, Dahlia? No, the payment plan was only the deal that I had if you pre-sold. Remember? The pre-sale deal, I said there were 3 things. One of them is that you could only do the payment plan during the pre-sale. May I offer it in the future? Potentially. But not during launch, not during the 3 days. Okay, that was the deal that I made. Okay, my tea is still hot, so it's not ready for consumption. I'm so excited for you, Caitlin. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started, okay? So this week we're going to be talking about email lists, and if you guys don't know, tomorrow's Facebook Live will be doing an email list boot camp. What does that mean? It's going to be a mini training, right? Live in the morning, a mini training on how to start an email list, right? How to set it up, okay? And how to start getting people on there, as well as what to email your customers. So again, a mini training, just in case you were interested and you're like, I don't want to buy your training, Dahlia, no offense, I love you, but I don't want to buy it. No problem, I'm gonna get you started with a little knowledge, of course, because I still feel in my heart that it's something you should absolutely do no matter what. Good morning, everyone. And obviously, the email list webinar would be much more intense, much more knowledgeable, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to help everybody and, of course, give you many trainings. So you must join me tomorrow. Hey, Maureen. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. You must join me tomorrow because regardless of if you bought the training or not, tomorrow's going to be fun because it's a mini training. The first time I've ever have done one. Teresa asked a fantastic question. Is it expensive to set up one? Nope, it is not. Sorry, my hair is like fuzzy today. Fuzzy or frizzy? Frizzy. It is not expensive. In fact, it is probably close to free. Okay? And that's what I'm going to teach you tomorrow. So that part is really exciting. Again, I highly encourage it to join me tomorrow for the mini training. Okay? So let's move on. Let's talk about the 4 reasons why I love an email list. The 4 reasons why you need an email list. Okay? And I'm really fond of number 1 because I think maybe not all of us, but a lot of us can say, yep, I get that. I think number 1 is really important, okay? So let me start. Reason number 1, and this, by the way, is very similar to my blog post, okay? Reason number 1 is you don't own any selling platform. That's Etsy, that's Amazon, right? All those other selling platforms that you sell on. It's important to understand what this really means. So because you don't own it, things can change. You don't make the decisions as to if you get found on the top of search, if something changes tomorrow, if they want to shut down your shop because of this or that. Okay, does this all sound familiar? I think we all could testify to that. Either we knew someone, we don't know them personally, maybe we heard of someone who got their shop shut down or something crazy like that, or potentially we have experienced changes in views and changes in, search algorithm, etc. I think we all can see that, right? Oh, I hope to see this. I want to access your page, but it wants a password. What page, Lily, are you trying to access? Can you give me the address on the bottom here? I'm hoping my tea's ready for consumption. It feels hot. Okay, so again, you don't own any of these things. So think about what I just said earlier, which is, your views can go up and down, up and down. And that really sucks. It makes us all feel like crap. I know we know that. And in fact, we know that there's some testing always going on with Etsy, okay? So yeah, and I want to go over that, Sue, in just a second, okay? Because, Lily, you need the password for that. So in order to access the resource library, you have to sign up for my email list. Okay, if you signed up, go to the email that I sent you, and I have a password in there. Okay? So anyway, so we can't control the views. And even Sue said, even like .com, it's hard to get found in, search, which again, we'll go over another reason. But with the funny thing about an email list, not the funny thing, the great thing about an email list, and I've proven it many times, so have some of my members who actually have one, is that you can actually control a lot of things, particularly your traffic, okay? So of course, as your list gets bigger and bigger, it's better and better, but every time I send out an email, traffic comes my way. Yes, I happen to be relatively good at, SEO, but forgetting that just for a second, even on my email list alone, when I decide I want traffic to my website, I could send it, okay? Obviously with an email list. And just in case you guys are like new to life, right? Let me just explain something really quick. If you don't know how this works and you're scared to ask, you get customers to sign up for your email list. You don't put them on yourself. You get them to sign up, okay? And then you gather all these people on your email list. Let's say 1,000 people, right? Let's just say, of course you want more and more and more. Let's say 1,000 people. And then when you send out an email to them saying, hey, I have 15% off, blah, 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 whatever you want to email them. The idea is that you'll have links in there, and those customers will start to click on there, and of course, hopefully, take you up on your offer. Okay, that's the connection here. That's how this thing works. Okay, so the thing I love about it is that because I don't own these other platforms, I am setting myself up for success in the future. Even if Etsy or Amazon or whoever does not decide to shut my shop down, and I can look into the future, and I know this. Right? And I know this. Imagine, most of you guys probably won't ever have any issues with Etsy. Yes, there'll be always issues with search algorithm and things like that. And I absolutely still agree with that reason alone. You should have an email list. But even if nothing severely bad, happens to your shop, why is it still important to have one? Because you still want to be able to control the traffic. Even if you never get messed up in search, right? You're getting 500 views a day. Why not, 600, 700, 800 views a day or whatever? Okay, when you decide, okay, not when Etsy decides to show you. So that's reason number one. Okay, I think we all could relate to that because, well, regardless if we felt the scare or not, we always hear our peers talking about, traffic and changes and shop getting shut down, etc. And that's not cool, right? And if you're running a business and it's a legitimate business, right? Meaning, like Caitlin, she just said that she now works for herself. Legitimate business, am I right? Because she just quit her full-time job to do this full-time. So obviously it's something real. So people like Caitlin, right, should have backup plans, should not just rely on Etsy, okay? And I'll tell you more about my email list journey tomorrow. But when I first quit my day job, I barely had an email list. I knew it was important. I kind of started it, but didn't pay attention to it. And you'll see my story tomorrow when I talk to you about it tomorrow. Okay. So reason number two, it kind of is like the cousin of reason number one. Okay. Hold on. Let me see if my tea is good. Okay. So that means it wasn't ready. Okay, and I burned my tongue a little bit because it was really hot. Okay, reason number 2 is similar to reason number 1. Okay, you don't own, right, or control Facebook, Instagram, any of the third-party social media apps that you use, right, to help drive your business, drive your traffic, etc. So, by the way, I'm not talking bad about these platforms. I think they've done really great things for entrepreneurs. Absolutely, that's no doubt about it. Okay, but I will say there's some downfalls to it, and I will explain it more about it in the reasons 3 and 4. But again, for the same reason the first one, you don't own it. We know that Facebook has changed their algorithm many times. We know that Instagram has changed it, etc. And I'm going to leave it just like that. We know that we don't own these platforms. Of course I don't own Facebook. Of course I don't own Instagram. I don't have a say as to what particularly happens with the algorithm, what gets shown, etc. And I want to go into reason number 3, okay? Reason number 3, which is open rates, okay? There's something in the email list industry that we call open rates, meaning if I send an email to 1,000 of my subscribers, imagine I have 1,000 subscribers, okay? This is called something called an open rate, the percentage of people that actually open your email, okay? Open rates obviously mean that somebody has saw your email, what you've written inside of it, okay? Now, open rates for emails are traditionally 20 to 60%. However, for our industry, it's 20 to 40%. So what does that mean? 20 to 40% of your fans, right, your email subscribers, have seen your message. Now you want to compare it to social media? Yeah, I think we should. Sometimes it's like, a lot of times it's like less than 5%, but sometimes it's within 10%. That's insane. You work so hard on creating the best posts and posting at the right time and working on getting your followers, whatever else you're doing to work your social media, which by the way could still eventually work out for you, okay? I'm not talking bad about social media. I'm just saying you want to compare it to email lists. The open rate is 20 to 40%, okay? When you look at social media, sometimes the people that actually see your post, which is technically like an open rate, is less than 5%. How badly does that suck? Okay? Erica, when I make my coffee, I actually set a 5-minute timer after I pour it from the pot that make it my perfect drinking temp time. Erica, that's so smart. Well, ever since my daughter got me this thermos, I guess you would call it, I don't know, I can't consume it immediately, which sucks. Okay, good morning. So again, when you're doing an email list, remember, you work hard to get your subscribers, but at least a lot of your subscribers actually see your email, unlike social media, where only less than 10%, sometimes less than 5% see it. And unlike Etsy, where you're throwing out your items out there and you're competing with everybody else, right, in search. We know that. That's, well, first of all these reasons is the reasons why I love an email list. But I particularly like the fact that I could send something out. I could really work hard on my email post, right? My email. And know that I worked on my graphics, worked on my message. And then people are opening it and actually reading it, okay? And here's my last reason why I love email lists. Reason number 4. Conversion rates are higher. So conversion rates, just in case you don't know what that is the amount of people who look at your items who actually end up buying. Okay, if you have 100 people look at your items and nobody buys, you have a 0% conversion. Okay, if you have 100 people look at your items and 10 people buy, that's 10% conversion. Okay, so conversions tend to be higher in email lists, and here is why. Okay, because you have gathered a list of people who tend to be your fans. Because they joined your email list, you could probably almost guarantee that they're your fans, because they probably opted into your email list for a percentage off because they want to buy something. Obviously, they're your fans, okay? Or are interested in what you have to say, okay? So think about that. And just understand that because you're marketing to a group of people that your target customers, essentially you're supposed to get higher conversion rates, okay? So again, you send out an email to 100 people, okay? Let's say 30 people open it. It's a 30% open rate. Okay, if you're looking at 10% conversion, okay, you guys can do the math, okay, that is pretty good compared to, let's say, the average 1% that we would have received. Okay? So, and sometimes you even might get higher than 10%. It just depends on the email, the message, etc. Okay? So, Sherilyn says, I'm currently sorting out a rebrand. Once sorted, an email list is on my to-do list. Yes, make sure you join me tomorrow so I can give you some tips. Okay, first of all, my hair is not working today. That's all. Okay. So Erica says, do you plan to talk tomorrow about how many people you should try to build up on the list before you start sending out the emails? Not particularly, but I'll be happy to answer questions. Okay, so that's a fantastic question. If you want to ask it, go ahead and do so because I love to answer it for you guys. Tomorrow is an email list boot camp. So tomorrow, I'm literally going to show you how to actually open an email. Sorry, that made no sense. I'm going to show you how to start an email list. Okay, how to set up your opt-in form. Okay, what to include in your opt-in form. Okay, all for free. And how to start building your email list, as well as what to email your customers. Okay, so really, it's a mini training. Okay, to get people kind of started on it. Obviously, the email list webinar is a full training, right? Obviously, way more than tomorrow's, but it's important to me that I teach you some baby steps to get you started, because if eventually you want to get more into it, then obviously the email list webinar is right for you. If you feel like it's not right for you right now for whatever reason, I don't know everybody's reason, right? Then that's fine. I still want you to start one because it is still important to me that you start one, because you will look back a year from now, regardless if you get the email list webinar or not. Even if you get it, by the way, and you start small, you don't want to look a year back from now and say, I wish I would have started one. Because yes, it does take time to build, okay? So, you'll be on the bus. Oh, okay. So if you already purchased a webinar, is anything extra that will be covered tomorrow? Not particularly, Melanie. However, I still want you to join me because there may be questions that are asked that are really fantastic questions, and you may still learn from it, you know? And also, if you have not a chance to even watch the webinar yet, Melanie, since you're always watching my Facebook Live, you may learn something from the Facebook Live that will save you time, but not particularly. The email list webinar is a much more fuller training, okay? So just FYI, I really want to consume my tea, but it's not ready for me yet. Damn it. Anyway, so again, I just want to quickly and briefly go over the 4 reasons. Now, are there much more reasons why you need an email list? Absolutely. And tomorrow we're going to really dive into that along with so tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So along with Thursday and Friday, because it's a 3-day launch. And just to remind everybody, this email list webinar, I worked really hard on it. And a lot of people that pre-sold are probably on this call right now. And oh no, Jennifer, I'm sorry. But people that have pre-sold obviously have access to it now. A lot of people have already gotten their feet wet in it. I spoke to a member yesterday that has built her email list before the email list webinar came out and has now purchased it, got it, and she has some really great things to say about it, which she wants to say tomorrow. But it is a full training, which again, I'll go over tomorrow. Don't worry about it today. And there's an awesome deal for people if they purchase tomorrow, but I won't say any more. And of course, anything that I give to people tomorrow, the people that pre-sold always get it, okay? I always get it. Melanie, I'm about 20% into it. It's jam-packed. It certainly is, mostly because email lists are kind of foreign to a lot of people, and I want to make sure I broke it down to easy to follow steps. So if you stop somewhere, you know where you left off easily, okay? Hey, Renee. I just came in. It's awesome. It has helped my list a lot. And Renee's a person that has already started a list, if I'm not mistaken. And this has really added a lot of value for her. But anyway, we'll get into that tomorrow. I'm going to be answering questions particularly about, and I'm very excited to say this, but there are people out there that believe that email lists are not right for them. Hold on. Let me hold my phone like this. Those people are people that are in the wedding industry. We know who you are. Okay, they're one-of-a-kind sellers. Oh, excuse me. Vintage sellers, right? And all these people that have these if, ands, or buts as to whether or not they should start an email list. And I will tell you that, and I will mention it tomorrow, don't worry about it today, about a story about a member who actually is in the wedding industry that, that she's doing fantastic with her email list, and she just recently started. FYI. Very excited to talk about that, okay? Renee, yes, it was horrid. Well, I'm glad you got the webinar, and now it's, really working for you. And I know you just got started, so. Michelle, your husband doesn't what? Sorry, I must have missed something. I've been wanting to start one, but had no clue how to start. Excited about the webinar. Yes, the webinar is important. If you want to get your feet wet, join me tomorrow. But if you know that you want to get the webinar, tomorrow, first of all, I have a 3-day launch starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's absolutely the day to get it because it's an extra bonus for people who actually purchase it tomorrow. That same bonus will be available for the pre-sellers, and they don't even know what that bonus is, by the way. I've been working really hard on it. Okay. Oh, that's funny, Renee. Renee knew her email list was bad, but she didn't know how bad it was until I helped her. The webinar is great. Thank you, Stacy. I'm getting lots of ideas from watching it. Awesome. Lorraine, I always felt I would be bothering people. I've since changed my mind. It's a funny feeling, right? It's a funny feeling that we feel like we're bothering people when we email them. But we tend to forget a few things. We tend to forget that people have decided to sign up for our email list. We also tend to forget that we're not teaching anything like spammy. We're not telling you to email people every day or even every week, matter of fact. The idea here is, guys, let me do a little bit math for you, okay? And I do this math in the email list webinar. But he doesn't, Michelle. We'll talk about that in a second. I want to see his reasons to why. But imagine I had 1,000 people on my email list, okay? And let's just say 500 people. No, that's too much. Let's just say 300 people open the email. That's 30%, okay? And 10% buy. That's 30 people buy, okay? 30 people buy. I don't think I have my hands on the mic anymore. Is it still on the mic? Okay, I'm sorry. 30 people buy. If your average sale is $50, okay, that's probably $150 you just made when you send out an email. Okay, just an example. Okay, now we're going to go into the future as you build your email list. Okay, imagine that list is now 10,000 people. Okay, let's say a couple of years from now. I don't know. 10,000 people. You can still have your open rate at 30%. Okay? And that's, if I'm not mistaken, 3,000 people have opened your email. If you're converting still only 10% people, okay? So you get 3,000 and 10% of that is 300 people. 300 people times $50, okay? Does anybody know what that is? 300 times $50. I'm assuming it's $1,500. Is that right? 1,500? Can anybody confirm? Sorry, I'm pretty good at math, but I'm really just stuck on this one. No, I think it's 15,000. What is it, guys? What is 300 times 50? What is it? Let me see if my tea is ready for consumption. Yeah, it's all right. I got a hot spot right there. Okay, so it's 15,000, Melissa says. 15,000. Now, of course, you might be like, what? Does that mean when I send out an email? Does that mean when I send out an email, I would literally get $15,000? Now listen up. Remember my little, progression. When you first start out, after a while, you might have 1,000 people. 30% open it, 10% people buy, right? You just do simple math. But the idea is, what I'm trying to show you is that there's a lot of money in email lists. The more people you eventually have on it, the more target customers you have on it, the better. When I send that email out, right, I get several thousands of dollars. Wait, did that even make sense? I get several thousands of dollars. Yeah, that sounded right. Is that grammatically correct? Several thousands of dollars. Whatever. When I send out an email. Okay, that's cool. I love that. However, I know in a few years from now, when I send out an email, I should be making more money. Because, obviously, open rates well, even if I keep the open rates the same, and even if I keep the conversion the same, I don't work on it at all, let's just say, then at least my list is growing, okay? And of course, if you keep selling the same thing over and over again, that might be an issue in itself. If you're growing as a company, whatever, then so will your email list, and so your opportunities, okay? So somebody wrote, Michelle wrote her husband thinks that she doesn't need an email list. Can you explain why? Is there a reason? Maybe he doesn't know too much about it, meaning he doesn't, like, of course you're going to think you don't need something if you don't know much about it. So that's what I'm trying to think. I think he doesn't know too much about it in order to really make a decision about it. That's what I think. Okay? Mm-hmm. I want that. I'm lucky to get a sale a day at the moment. Now, let's just for the record, I don't email all my customers each day, right? So I'm not emailing my list each day to get thousands of dollars each day. Let's just make that clear. However, let's just say I reach a point where I have 10,000 people on my list. Of course, we're dreaming, right? But let's just say I reach a point. Forget it, even 5,000. I don't care. 5,000, whatever. Okay? And my average sale is $50. Depending on your average sale, depending on a whole bunch of things I just said. But nonetheless, imagine I reached that point. Okay? Technically speaking, depending on how much money you want to make in a month, all I have to do is send out 1 or 2 emails a month, and I'm golden. Now, does that mean I'm going to stop running business and stop, selling on my .com and stuff like that, or not work on Google SEO? No, I still want to grow. But now you've controlled the amount of money you make. Now you've controlled the traffic that you want to receive. That's why I freaking love email lists. That's what I do all the time. Okay? I want that. I'm lucky to get a sale. Okay, I read that already. He may not know much about it. I'm not good at selling it as you. I'm happy, Michelle, for you to ask him, I want his questions, I want his, questions. I want you to bring them tomorrow so you could actually ask them, because he might not be even hearing this at the moment to see what the conversion rates are and the open rates, etc. He might not know those, but even if he does or doesn't care for them, I invite his questions to come tomorrow via you, and I'll be happy to answer them. Sue says, my husband's an accountant and only looks at the bottom line. I have to keep educating him on the importance of marketing. Really? Whoa. Yeah, that's obviously, a lot of these things that we do is important. And just for the record, just understand that sometimes our friends and family, whatever, don't understand our methods. Email lists for a lot of, okay, my hair is not acceptable. Okay. Email lists are really foreign to a lot of us. We've heard a lot about it, particularly probably through me, but it's a foreign idea because everybody's all about the social media because it's so cool, right? But I am not. I have built a successful business. You guys know this about me already. For the love of God, I sell paper products. I sell stationery. I sell personal stationery. People think it's a dying art. In fact, when I meet people in person and I tell them what I do, they tell me they think it's a dying art. And I say, nope, I work for myself and I have my husband work for me. We do pretty well, right? I'm not gonna tell them how much I make. But for myself, I have built something that I could easily email my customers. I've done a lot of things for my business, and my methods or whatever I'm doing, people might look at it and go, you don't have a Facebook account, you don't have a social media, blah, blah, blah. I do, I just don't work on it much. Does that mean I won't work on it next year? No, it does not mean that. I just, at the current time, I feel there are other things that give me a better return on my investment, and that is SEO, that is email lists, that will be soon Pinterest, etc. Okay? Thank you, Sarah. It's like doing this weird bump and then thing here. I don't know. So I have a doctor appointment tomorrow at 2, so I'll miss you live. Catch it on the replay. Yes, Nicola, you must catch it on the replay before the day ends, because there is something special for people, right, that you must know about if you purchase the webinar on the first day. Okay? FYI. Your so head looks so awesome. Thanks. You're so funny about it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So again, to wrap this call up, I mentioned the 4 reasons. If you join me later in this Facebook Live, make sure you rewatch it. Okay. I even have a blog post on thehandmademastermind.com for those reasons. But tomorrow we're going to be doing an email list boot camp. Okay. That's a really, really big turnout because I'll be giving a lot of free advice during this email list boot camp. The launch of the email list webinar will be out tomorrow, ready for ready for purchase. There are several bonuses that I'm giving away, okay, if you purchase during the launch, during the next 3 days, but particularly tomorrow. The first day, people buying the first day usually get the best stuff, okay? And again, if you pre-sold, you will also get this additional bonus, which, by the way, nobody knows what the additional bonus is. Literally, nobody knows what it is. So I'm very excited about it. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Okay. So, again, join me tomorrow because I at least want to tell people what the bonus is. I've worked really hard on it for the past week, nonstop, along with other things I've been doing. But this is something that once in a while comes up, and people keep asking for it, and I didn't want to charge for it. I easily could for what I've created. But I didn't want to, and all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, you know what? I'm going to create it and offer it during the email list webinar launch for people that buy in the first day or people that pre-sold. Okay. Again, people that pre-sold don't have access to it yet. You will get it tomorrow. Avery, how much is it? Oh, the webinar. I guess you must have missed the pre-sale time. Beginning of the month, when I pre-sold the webinar, it's $249. Right now, you can't see it on the website. It will go live tomorrow. So just FYI. And it's $249. Tomorrow, you can see the curriculum. It is jam-packed, like beyond belief. And not to overwhelm you, but broken down into really covering everything you need to know as if you were a newborn fetus, as if you were a newborn baby, right? Not knowing anything about email lists or anything like that. That's how I teach it, just in case you don't know where people start out from and what their expertise is, you know? Excuse me. Nancy, different subject, but wondering when the redo of SEO will come out. So a couple things about that. I always get asked that. So obviously people are missing the message. The redo of the SEO webinar will be out. One second. April. Should be in April. Okay, should be. So if it's a little bit late, then so have you. But it should be in April. However, I will tell you this. Okay? What I currently teach in the SEO webinar is still relevant. Okay? So just want to make sure that's very, very clear. The redo of it will obviously be upgraded. So there'll be a lot more techniques and tricks that tend to be asked in the private group, right? That will be put to light into these videos. Okay, it'll be much more thorough, if you will. So really the same teachings, but much more thorough. No, not really. I hate to say the same teachings. I don't want you to think it's the exact same thing. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're waiting for the redo just to work on your SEO, no. Because what people fail to see is that the techniques are still going to be the same. Now, when Etsy decides to actually change their SEO, the actual algorithm and things like that, then it'll be updated again. Okay, it'll be updated again. But just so you know that a lot of things will change when the redo happens. The branding of the webinar will obviously be better. A lot more videos broken down to steps as opposed to like just 4 videos or whatever, right? And things like that. It'll address questions in certain videos, right? So it'll be easier. I can't explain what I mean, but if you've bought any of my recent webinars, you know exactly what I mean. Okay. Okay, perfect, Nancy. Sarah, it's an awesome webinar. The SEO, just bought it. Awesome. I have it. Oops, meant what? I'm missing that part. My connection is weak again. I don't know why. Okay. So anyway, so I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Because I have to get to work. But make sure you join me tomorrow for the email list bootcamp, okay? And the exciting, the exciting bonus for people that purchase it tomorrow. You obviously want to know what that is, okay? And of course, there's another bonus as well, so don't worry. And that is all. Make sure you also bring your questions tomorrow. I know there's plenty of questions about email lists. By the way, if you are one of those people that are on the fence, right, that are not interested in buying the webinar or are not quite sure, I invite you to bring your questions or your reasons as to why you're not sure about it. Because yes, there might be some people that are not right for it, but I will tell you, email lists are one of those things that I don't find a really good excuse not to want to be on it. Why don't you want to be on it? Because it's hard to do or it takes a process, etc. This is part of what we do. This is part of this is part of building a business, right? So that's not really an excuse. And if it is an excuse for you, then probably the email list webinar is not right for you, because there's a lot of hard work behind this. I don't promise instant success. I don't promise all this stuff. So if you just want an easy way out, this is certainly not for you. Certainly not for you, okay? But if you're willing to work hard and have what I have or what some other members have when they actually have an email list and actually email their list, then I invite you to join me tomorrow. I invite you to even purchase the webinar. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow, okay? So I'll let you guys go. Bring your questions tomorrow. Bring your paper and pens. Okay, so I'm going to teach you some things about email list. And that is it. I will see you guys tomorrow bright and early. It's going to start at 8:15 Central Time. Okay, today I started at 8, so a few more minutes later, right? About 10 more minutes later or so.